Reincarnation from Egypt, or Khem, the land of Khem. Yeah, so I've reincarnated from Egypt, and I remember my past life there. Yeah, I've reincarnated from a few places. Egypt is just one of the lives. Thanks to Neteru, the gods of Egypt, I have birthmarks of the four stars around Orion's belt, Saphirigil, Bellatrix, and Betelgeuse on my thigh. So I mean, those I see those stars often. They shine above my house here, and then I see Sirius and Canopus. Those are the five children of Zeb and Nut, some of the gods of Egypt. Yet those are birthmarks. So that relates to the incarnation, as reincarnation and birthmarks connect. Um, yeah, and as you can see, there's symbols on all the walls, and even inside there, they're hieroglyphs. There's like a winged globe, eyes of Horus, the books of Newt, the book of the day, the book of the night on the corridors, with scarab beetles, real scarab beetles attached to the paintings. So you can see it's similar to a tomb. So it's part of like past life regression, where I'm still living similar to how I was entombed. Um, Coming out from there, I used to connect mirrors and sunlight like we used to do in Egypt, and sunlight shone through, reflecting in the mirrors in smoke so they could be visible. And that was also done in some of the temples in Egypt. Yeah, so I've been to Egypt in this life. I went down the River Nile, went to the Temple of Horus at Edfu. I was born on Horus' birthday in this life. So I went to Horus Temple at Edfu, Hatshepsut's, near the Valley of Kings. Went to the Valley of Kings, to the tomb of Ramses, King Tut, Tutankhamun, and also to the museum in Cairo, to the pyramids and the Great Sphinx. So all of this jogged my memory, especially the museum in Cairo with all the artifacts like these things that I held. There's a heck and a coup, or a crook and a flail. Had an ankh from Egypt there as well. I even slept in. I made a sarcophagi box and slept in that for a while, um, with an ankh and a crook, the shepherd's crook, and the flail. Yeah, so I relate a lot to Anubis, as when I was young, I had a dream where I went to the underworld and I changed into Anubis, and then my head became like a jackal. And then I was moving through the underworld, and I've seen too in a vision the 42 Egyptian judges, similar to a flying saucer. Yet it's a bark of Ra, like a boat flying through the sky with 42 judges. That it's part of the process. When you die in Egypt, you go through the halls of double mat, and the halls of double mat, the goddess of truth, weighs your heart against a feather of truth in the underworld. And the 42 judges, you confess against various things that you haven't done, negative confessions to the gods. And then you go to the Amentet and the Amtuat, the underworld in heaven, with Osiris, yeah, and the other gods, the Neteru. Also with the scarab, once I did some sort of ceremony with a golem or something, and then a scarab appeared, and I was like, "Wow!" And it landed on my hand, and I was like, "Yay, Jesus, bro! This is a scarab. It's Khepera, the origin of Ra." I felt so much power, like magic, from that. Then the scarab appeared right after I did something, and it was amazing. Also, a snake during an eclipse. Lots of things that relate to ceremonies that happened in Egypt, in the temple. As I served in a temple in Egypt, that was my life, and that's what I remember. The ceremonies, also the food that I eat. Sometimes I have eaten like lotus and scarabs and crocodile, like the pharaohs. It sounds, yeah, yeah, and those kind of diets, yeah, it's from Egypt. That's what they did in Egypt. Yeah. I've been down a river here in my current life with crocodiles and hippopotamus, papyrus on the banks, and I was very like the River Nile. I also have also been on the River Nile. Yeah, this other river had the same habitat as the Nile with the same animals. And I remember various ceremonies like and mythology I'm really apt at as I relate to it directly through my past life. Yeah, and those stars, I mean, with astronomy, there's a telescope here, and I use it a lot to look at the stars that relate to Egypt, especially Orion, Sirius, and Canopus, Carina, and Canis Major, relating to the five children of Jeb and Nut. Yeah, well, that's my experience. Reincarnating from Egypt, thanks to the Neteru. I'm back on Earth. I was born on Horus' birth date, Perseid meteorite shower. Um, and that's my experience. Like, subscribe, comment if you have similar experiences, if you like to connect. Thanks for watching, and is out the chemist from Egypt.